Good afternoon, everyone. This is Matt over at MilestoneCGP.com. All right, pretty interesting point we're at here today. And I want to look at weekly and daily to see what our possible next steps are. But we did hit the top of this channel today, and that's where we closed at on SPY. And this is the weekly, and this is the lower channel. So once we broke over here, this resistance, it shot all the way up, hit it, came down, didn't make a full move down. This acted as support right here, these candles, and once that was hit, it moved higher. So it did finally hit this line pretty aggressively, I might say. So the Trump monster run continues. Now we have to watch this very closely how we close this week out. If we close inside here, then we're going to come down here. If we break this, then we are going to move higher, and that higher is going to be off of these candles right here. I can guarantee it. So just know that, and that's going to be at that the one I was in December. I was talking about that 2030 and more. I do have other lines, but that would be the first resistance line. There would be a secondary line because this was a higher wick there. We would draw this one off of here. So you're going to have a lot of noise right in this area right here, and it's going to be very challenging, especially with the lower time frames so overbought right now. So there's a lot of resistance in this area here. And looking at this on the weekly, if we close, if we close over all of this, of course, then you can plan on the sky's the limit, and then I'll have to make some new lines. But right now we do have this cluster on the weekly, we have a couple more days left on this, and from here. So right now we're at the first line of resistance. Your second line is here. Your third line is here. With the overbought conditions, we pulled back right at the close instead of pushing through. And I'll look at IWM now here too, and this is on the weekly. IWM also is at a resistance. As you can see, it's been trending to the downside, and this is very important. If this one breaks, hold on one second. Actually, this one's a little bit higher on the weekly. I'll bring it down to the daily. You can see. So the weekly is actually calling for 120.84 to be the top on the weekly, with the lower channel being right in this area. So it's going to be very interesting to see what happens. There's also going to be support, as you can see, when this pulled back off of this set of candles in this area. I think they came right in there, right? Yeah, pretty much right in there. You can see, so it's in a pretty defining wedge right now, about to make a decision, and if this decision is up, then potentially it could make some new highs, and that's for the weekly. So we'll get back to SPY real quick here, and we'll drop it down to the daily. Okay, so you can see here it's pretty much right on it. You get a little bit right here and then right here. So they've been gapping and going, making people chase the market. So and then consolidating and breaking. So we are overbought right here. We're gonna have to see what happens. IWM daily is the same thing here. If you notice, I put them on the wicks. It's a big difference here. It's still under resistance on the daily. Okay, so we're going to have to see what happens. We're in this channel right here. You can see, you have this gap here, this gap here. You do have a gap in here on a lower time frame. Then you have this gap over here. So there's plenty of gaps over here with a descending channel. We could break this channel and go higher, but I will evaluate that when time comes. We'll have to see what happens. It's still the beginning of earnings season, but everybody likes Trump policies apparently, and that's the way it's going. So if we take a look at SPX real quick, also SPX, this is SPX top right here for a longer term channel. This is the daily, and riding this daily right here, this is from this to this. We also have, if you drop this back in this area, you'll see where our bounce is right now. So it's actually kind of a title channel right here. So either it's going to make a move and break, or pull back and reset. We'll have to see what happens with that on the S&P 500, and that is the daily. So if you're looking at the weekly, what we want to do is pay attention to the same thing. Pretty aggressive candles here, but we are coming into some of that resistance with your support right here. And we'll look at the Dow real quick also. The Dow actually is a little bit different of a story here. The Dow is actually excuse me, the Dow, actually the next trend line for the Dow is up here, which is right about 22, which potentially, it's a little overbought right now, so any pullback to this area over here, I still think, and if we get down to these channel areas, as long as they don't break, that we're going to continue higher. So it's okay if this one just comes across and doesn't meet, and that's the weekly. So if you look at the daily, your daily, just another gap and sitting up here at the top, which is pretty good here. If you look on these, take these two candles right here, which right in this area, you do have a little bit tighter of a trend line right here, resistance, which is going to be at 2132 in that area. And that'll take it to the we've already gone up for 3 days, so usually on the third day you pull back down for a reset, but this channel is currently sitting here like this. So just using candles, not indicators. Just want you to see what we have here, and you have higher low, so I would run this off of this also. So looks like we're going to run into some kind of tight channel come the 31st, which is going to be the FOMC, and I think a market decision is going to be made at that time. That will close our monthly candles, and I'll do the monthly evaluation next week, but for now I'll just continue with the other ones, with these other ones. All right, this is Matt over at milestonecgp.com. If you want to join us in chat, we have well over 120 people in there now. We are on Skype. It's a private room, so add me as a contact, MATTOSTC, MATTOSTC. You can join us every day. All right, have yourself a fantastic night.